All right, guys, this is all you really need to know about flipping houses. Flipping houses is only the first step. All right, so look at this right here. The green, this is market appreciation. So over time, the market goes up by around 4.27% per year. Okay, so that means that if you buy a house today, okay, you're gonna do a renovation, and that's gonna be your total cost. This right here is what I would call the equity gap. Okay, that's the amount of equity that you put in your pocket. You bought this house for 160, you put $150,000 into it. It's worth 210,000, and then the market is around $280,000, let's say. Okay, so you have around a 20% equity gap. That's the money that you get to put in your pocket. The market continues to raise, okay, and you have a mortgage on this property. That mortgage over time goes down. So after 30 years, the market has continued to rise 4.27% per year on average, and your mortgage has gone to zero, 30-year mortgage. That's why I always use 30 years. So after 30 years, this around $300,000 property is now worth about $1 million. You have no mortgage left. So let's just think about this. If you, this year, you go buy 3 rentals, just like that. $300,000, $300,000, $300,000. That's a total of $900,000 of assets that you own, that you control. All right, that's an important concept, is that when you purchase those houses, even though you may have used a loan, a mortgage to buy those houses, you control the $900,000 asset, not the down payment that you put down for the house, or if you're refinancing it, the money that you had to leave in the house, i.e. your equity gap. Remember, if I did this renovation, then I went and refinanced the house, put a mortgage on for that cost that I have in it. All right, that's a refinance versus a mortgage. You might buy a house straight up. This is a $300,000 house. You get a $240,000 mortgage from the bank, you put $60,000 down. The whole reason that we do flipping instead of buying that way is that by forcing the appreciation into it through the project that you're doing, through the construction that you're doing, by forcing that appreciation, you get discounts on everything. You're in everything for 80% or less. All right, so anyway, these houses right here, $300,000, you're controlling $900,000 worth of assets, and after 30 years, actually, let's just do this better. After 5 years, let's not even worry about 30 years, because 30 years, you're obviously rich as shit. Okay, after 5 years, at 4.27% per year, that's worth around, oh, I forgot a zero, $1.1 million. Okay, your loans were $240,000 per property. That's, what is that, 720. Oh yeah, something like that. 720. After 5 years, that's gonna be around, let's just say 650 is what you owe left on that after 5 years. That might be a little bit low. Let's say 680, all right? You don't, a lot of times on mortgages, not a lot of times, every time on mortgages, you pay more of the interest on the front end than you do on the back end. So you don't pay a lot of principal down, i.e. your loan amount down in the first 5 years. But anyway, at this point, $110,000, not 110,000, $1.1 million minus $680,000. That's the amount of equity that you have in the property. But more importantly, is now you can go do a refinance on $1.1 million, which is 110,000, one more zero times 0.8. Okay, the bank's going to give you 880. So they're going to give you 880,000. Remember, oh, sorry, that's not the right number. Remember, you owe 680,000. So that means that you can do a cash out refinance, 5 years, and then you put $200,000 in the bank account. All right, this is really where real estate gets really powerful, because that $200,000 is not like the $200,000 that you would gain on flipping houses. See, when you go to flip a house, that is short-term capital gains. You're basically paying active income rates to the IRS, getting screwed. $200,000 earned from flipping houses, you might pay half of that in taxes if you didn't have other strategies, but we're not talking about that right now. But this $200,000 that you take in a refinance, that is not income, that is debt. And debt is not a taxable thing. That means that $200,000 that you take out of your equity, you get to put that in your pocket and not pay a frickin' dime in taxes. And that's the power of real estate. So think about if for the next 5 years you gained 3 rentals and you kept doing that. That means you would make $200,000 a year that you could take home scot-free. Now, of course, you don't have to refinance those properties. You can keep paying the mortgage down, but that's the power of real estate, is that the more assets you control, you just get richer every single day. And it's not rich, it's wealthy. You get wealthier every day, because what's the difference between somebody who's rich and somebody who's wealthy? Somebody who's wealthy has assets that keep gaining more and more value every day. That's why we're here. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.